What is love without wisdom to guide that love? What is love? We need some sort of wisdom to guide. Reminds me of what's going on right now with the whole Diddy situation, and right now Cassie is taking the stand and saying a whole bunch of stuff, revealing a lot of things, and people have seen the videos with how she's Diddy treated Cassie and whatnot. And it's not just them, it's so many people in horrendous relationships, whether it's platonic, romantic, the way we deal with people, treat people, relate to people, you know, people like Diddy and will claim, I'm sure when he and Cassie were together, the love that they have, and oh my, it's so amazing, and the way she moved, the way she walked, the way she talked, all these things, and vice versa, positive things that she said about him, and they portray a certain image on screen, they portray a certain image in front of people, but behind closed doors there's other things, other dynamics going on. So it's like, wow, it's like driving a car. You don't just drive nonchalantly, you don't just drive aimlessly. Typically you shouldn't. Typically there's an intended destination, and there's a way to operate the vehicle. There's a way to maneuver the vehicle as you navigate potholes, and you interpret the signs around you, and respond to the sign, the stop sign, the yield sign, the dead end sign, all these signs, the lights. You are being careful not to hit other vehicles. You're staying in your lane. There are rules to follow. There's a way to navigate yourself even while driving. And likewise with love, there's a way to maneuver with love. Many people can say, oh, I love you, I love this, I love that person, but are they properly navigating on that road? Are they properly navigating with finesse, with skill? Because what separates drivers with a clean record, good drivers, with drivers who are bad, who have bad records, who have licenses revoked all the time, and all these points on the licenses, is how they operate on the road. Are you driving reckless? Are you driving drunk? Are you driving nonchalantly? Are you driving with no awareness? Just poor skill, poor parking skill, poor reversing skills, poor turning skills. Are you navigating? Are you just, you can say, oh, I drive, but how do you drive? Are you driving with skill, right? And many people do not operate in love with skill. Celebrities like Diddy and other people, no skill as pertains to relationships, so they get wrecked. If you don't operate a vehicle with skill, you get wrecked. Or the boat or the plane, you get wrecked, right? Far more likely wrecks are going to happen if you don't operate with skill. There's no other person in this history of this earth today that has given us a recipe for operating in love with skill, like Jesus, like Christ, like the Messiah. There's no other recipe, manual, instructions for operating in love other than the Bible. Every vehicle has a manual that comes with it, and it gives you a list, a parameter, a guideline of ways to operate the vehicle, how to properly get the best out of the vehicle, right? And it's there. So, but many of us, we don't look at the operation manual for life, the Bible. We don't look at the one who is the champion of love, the MVP, the top of the top of the tops, as is in Jesus. We don't study how you operate in love. Love is patient. So how many of us are impatient? Love is kind. How many of us are not being kind? Love overlooks wrongs, offenses, and many of us hard to do that. Hard to forgive. Bible talks about boundaries and not being a talebearer and spreading all your business all over the place. We know that a lot of issues happen because people spread all these rumors and don't know when to be quiet, don't know how to keep their mouth shut, don't know how to keep things private. They want to broadcast it, and then they get mad when those same things ricochet back to them. Oh, back somebody else, the wrong person. Because we want to say all these things, and certain things should not be broadcasted. Certain things should be kept private, right? And also, it's not just about, once again with Diddy, he has money, he had his real estate and the cars, whatever. But a lot of people like him, regardless of how much money you make, we don't take the time to have an introspective look at ourselves. Wow, am I healthy enough for a relationship? Wow, how is my communication? How is my emotional management? How do I behave when things don't go my way? How do I act with this, finances, and dealing with conflict and in-laws and kids and just ourselves? And often we don't do that. We say, oh, I'm 21, 25, I got a job, I got a career, I got a house, I'm good, but often we're not healthy enough and for a relationship. And a lot of us think that we are. Many of us will say that other person ain't ready. He ain't ready. She ain't ready. He ain't ready. I ain't ready. Yeah, they ain't ready. But have you ever said, am I ready? Am I really ready? And many of us we claim that we're ready. Because we got this, we got that, we got success, we got this, we got popularity, but really don't. And it takes humility, it takes power to recognize, acknowledge that we have blind spots, we got issues with ourselves. We all got things to work on. But if you're humble to recognize and identify your issue, your anger problem, your smoking problem, your impatience, your entitlement, your attitude, your arrogance, blowing up things and making it bigger than how it really is, making mountains out of molehills. That thing wasn't so serious, or accusing. You thought you saw something, you heard something, and then you just blow out of proportion. Your tone of voice, you're loud, and you're cursing, you're loud, and the list goes on. And a lot of us get mad when someone called us out. And the same people will say, oh, no one's perfect. Well, if you're not perfect, someone's calling you out, holding on that. What can you do to be better? Not to say that we're going to get the bullseye every single time, every single moment within our relational dynamics, but as much as possible, we want to increase the frequency of getting the bullseye. Come on, we want to increase the frequency of getting the bullseye, so that we have healthier relationships. So, it's like what Jesus said in the Bible. When he said, one of you will betray me tonight, and everybody was like, oh, it is I. Is it I? Is it I? What's going on? Is it me? And many of us wouldn't ask that. We wouldn't say that. Is it I? We're gonna say, oh, it's him. It's her. It's him. It's always somebody else, never you, because we feel upset. We feel mad. We feel, man, I feel attacked I feel odd, I feel embarrassed if I'm being pointed out. I feel ashamed, I feel uncomfortable. But that's how you grow in life. You gotta go through the discomfort. You gotta work through your problems with yourself through that discomfort. Work through that discomfort, because that will stretch it out. That will help you be better. So we gotta do a better job with asking that question: Is it I? Am I the issue? Am I the reason why this relationship isn't working? Why I had that divorce? Why, why I have issues dealing with people? Is it always them, or is it me? All right. So we have to ask that question, and that takes humility. And once you acknowledge that, you're humble enough to recognize that. Now you can make the incremental steps to get better, so that now you can have a healthier relationship. As the Bible says, if you humble yourself, you will be exalted. The humility, the acknowledgement, that identifying the issue with yourself and doing the work needed to get better. But if you're ignoring the problem, if you're being prideful, then you can never get exalted in your relationships. Because why? You never took the time to humble yourself. You remain high on your pedestal. When you humble yourself, you rise up. Well, if you're fully of pride yourself, then you get brought down low. Your relationships get low, they get corroded, they disintegrate. All right. So the Lord bless you and keep you. Let's operate love with wisdom, Christ-like wisdom. That is the optimal way. All right, y'all. God bless you. Love you. Later.